Alright guys, give me a minute or two and we'll get started here. I was trying to test this, stream this in HD, and it's not going to happen with Ubuntu. It's just too heavy. But I think we can do this in 720p. So give me a minute and we'll see how the stream looks like on my end here. And we'll get started talking Ubuntu, late night.
Dal cuore che ti ama, io t'amo e t'amerò ogni giorno ancor di più. Sinfonia, che bel canto d'allegria, sei tu mio amor, questa dolce melodia. Cantano gli angeli dal cielo, you sweet symphony, please return to me.
Listen, the birds are singing. The spring is finally here. My broken heart is crying. Where the roses catch my teardrops.
Spring rain pulls out your name. My love, where can you be? It thunders in my brain and gives me so much pain.
Alright, it looks like we can stream in non-HD 720p like I did with Ubuntu. Now this is Ubuntu, definitely not a lightweight system, but it does appear to be working. So we'll let this stream and see what happens, and hopefully it won't crash, and hopefully someone will stop in the chat tonight to say hello for this late night Total OS with Ubuntu live. Tonight's music, of course, is provided by my dear dad all the way from Italy, from Italia, beautiful Italia. Songs of love written, composed, and performed by dad. He sings on some of the songs, but not on this one. This song is called Symphony or Symphony of Love. Alright, I'll get started here, and if there's anybody in the chat, don't get lost, stick around, and I will jump in the chat, and I'll get to your responses here in just a moment. Where's my, oh shoot, I forgot to get my glass for the wine. No, not the Linux wine, the real red wine. I don't feel like running upstairs to get the glass. I think I'll do tonight's show without the wine. Alright, give me a moment here. Alright, I came across this article, PC Mag or Laptop Mag. Let me go ahead and just show you the graphic here, those of you watching this podcast. This person writes, I ditched Windows 11 for Linux and you should too. Well, that's awesome, but it's also confusing, probably for many Windows users out there. You ditched Windows, not sure why, but that's okay. For Linux, which Linux did you ditch Windows for? We've talked about this. Now there are hundreds and hundreds of hundreds really of Linux-based systems. So just a general description of this, where it just says you ditched Windows 11 for Linux, the Windows newbie will say, oh, I can just pick any Linux and install it, and I can replace Windows. You see how that can be a bit non-user friendly. Look, I've been doing this almost 20 years using Linux, and Windows users just need to be told the truth, or at least get to the point and be accurate. You need to put yourself in the mind of a Windows user who maybe has never even heard of Linux. It's certainly possible, but at the very least, something like this has to read something like, I ditched Windows 11 for Linux Mint, or Zorin OS, for Ubuntu Mate, for Chromebook, or something more specific. Because when you just type in the word Linux, the Windows user may think, oh, I'll just pick any Linux and I'll be in good shape. And what do you think is going to happen? This Windows newbie will choose whatever, Gentoo, Linux, Arch, something that's not user-friendly. He'll try to work with it, and what do you think is going to happen? Man, this Linux sucks. Now, of course, that would not be a fair statement. I get it. But you can't blame the Windows user if you're not accurate. Trust me, I've been doing this a long freaking time. I get it. You have to be specific. You can say, I ditched Windows for some Linux. That's okay. Or out of the 600 types of Linux, only 5 are good, and I ditched it for this one. Even that's okay. But just to throw in the general word Linux and telling a Windows user to ditch Windows for Linux, really? You want me to ditch Windows for all of Linux? It doesn't make any sense. Be specific. I ditched Windows 11 for a Chromebook. Great. Now you're right on target. Chromebooks are great. They're light, they're fast, they're affordable. They beat Windows in many ways. That's awesome. But you just can't say you ditched Windows, you ditched Windows for Linux in general. This would imply the article. Now, I know that's not what he's trying to say here, but it sounds like it. It implies you ditched Windows for all of Linux. Well, that is not being helpful, and maybe this is one of the reasons why there's still after all these years, I get it why Windows users are saying that Linux sucks. You got to get to the point and be specific. I wouldn't mind being in California, being close to the Pacific, but you got to be specific. If you truly want to help a Windows user, you have to get to the point. Define your objective. Get to the point. Anyway, get specific, I guess is what I've been trying to say. It sounds like a rant, and maybe it is, but look, there are a billion Windows users out there, and the closest Linux for the masses I've seen is a Chromebook, because they just work. A Chromebook is specific, meaning you don't have to use the terminal. It just works. Nothing's going to break. You don't have to solve a puzzle. Now, Chromebooks aren't for everybody, and that's okay, but at least Chromebooks are a specific form of Linux that doesn't break. I hope that makes sense. If you are a Windows user, I hope you came here and maybe, gain a little bit of knowledge to help you out as much as possible. Give me a sec. I'm just checking the streaming stats here on OBS. Make sure it's okay. Alright, it looks like OBS is fine. Non-HD mode streaming on the Solar Quad Core. Look, if you are going to ditch Windows for lightweight Linux, don't choose Ubuntu. You will find that a Windows 11 runs better, faster than Ubuntu. On an older machine, I need to be specific again, on an older machine, on the new one, it doesn't matter. But if you have a 5 or 10-year-old quad core or more like what I have, and you want Linux, lighter Linux, even though Ubuntu looks great, do not choose Ubuntu to ditch Windows 11. Try Linux Mint, Ubuntu Mate, even try Chrome OS Flex. Very light. So there are better options out there for lighter Linux for Windows users, and Ubuntu simply is not it. Okay, let me. Oh, I have some chocolate mint here. I just remembered. Yummy. All right, let me go into the chat and see if anybody's here. Well, hello, Ben. How you been, my friend? How are you? What's new? Yes, we also have another Italian in the house. How are you, Vigetra? Vigetra, I think I said that right. If you hear me munch, I'm munching on this chocolate mint. No, that's not a Linux distribution called chocolate mint. It's just actual chocolate. Haha. Oh, Ben, you finished school and you updated your resume. Excellent. Awesome. A chocolate mint chocolate bar. Delicious. Ah, you are across the Adriatic Sea. Yes. Was saying hello to you. Very good. Well, buonasera to you. Good evening to you. Alright, don't mind me, the pause, I'm just chewing on my chocolate. So it is a better good evening here where I live. It's not as cold. At least it got above freezing today. So what am I just was wondering what I was doing streaming on a Tuesday, then you realize it's a weekend. What kind of wine are you drinking over there? It's that good Adriatic wine, huh? It is a Saturday night, yes. It's going to be about 40 degrees tomorrow in Louisville. Cool. Well, here in Ohio, maybe it'll be the same. Ah, you like vodka. Of course. I like a white Russian with vodka. Not the girl, the drink. Of course I like the girls. That was just a joke. Just a joke. I'm guessing most Italian men like the girls, don't we? I think so. I don't think I know any Russian girls, though. Come to think of it, I wouldn't mind knowing one. Dobre večer. I think that was Russian. And what's the other one? Spasiba means thank you in Russian? I think. The background melody, those are my dad's tunes from Italia, original tunes comprised over the years. Yeah, they are original tunes that you can check out. One thing about the winters that I hate, dry skin. Anyway, Dobro večer is more across the Adriatic Sea. Spasiba, thank you, and whatnot is more northern, far, far away. Okay, very good. I don't do Russian very good, but I can do Arnold Schwarzenegger. Blah, good to be here. That voice never gets old. Alright, Ben, so you're downloading Ubuntu 24. Okay, you're just an XFC fan. Yeah, XFCE is good. I have a MX Linux 32-bit. XFCE on an older ThinkPad that had Windows XP. Yeah, I still have a ThinkPad that is fully functional that originally had Windows XP, or believe it or not, that still works with a specific form of Linux. In this case, is 32-bit MX Linux with Debian. Yeah, dry skin, and it's winter. Here we have another month before it starts to change, but it is normal for us. I don't know about you in the Adriatic, but around here it is normal for us. I still don't like it, but it is what it is. If there is anybody new who is watching by chance, and you would like to say hello or have a question, please do. That's why I like to do these. You never know who's going to pop in really at any time during the day because of the, well, this is the World Wide Web for a reason, right? Well, I think the climate change thing it probably has affected the world over the years. It's not so much. Sometimes it's called global warming, but it's more an imbalance of nature, and not just the warming. It could be warm and cold, unusually warm and cold. Yeah, I'm looking at my screen here. Yeah, trying to stream with Ubuntu on a quad core machine from 12 years ago. It's struggling. Hopefully you guys can hear me, but it's now the YouTube Studio says that the stream status is poor, and that's just. I mean, Ubuntu is just resource hungry. It would be better for me to do this with Lubuntu or something similar. So hopefully you guys can hear me. If you cannot, let me know, and I can get out of this and restart in Lubuntu, since I am dual booting on 2 SSDs, one with Ubuntu and the other one Ubuntu. The stream sounds perfect. Well, thank you for telling me. It just says poor on my end here on the stream status here in the YouTube Studio. No, for this evening I am not using Windows 11. I have Windows 11 on my Dell, and I have Windows 11 on a ThinkPad laptop. I haven't tried streaming it on the laptop, but I suspect on the laptop Windows 11 it should be fine streaming, and on the Dell it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, this is the last year for Windows 10, official Windows 10 support. It ends, I think, October. Windows 11 to me has always felt lighter than Windows 10, so you should be okay with Windows 11. Of course, having an SSD would also help performance in general. My internet is through a company called Comcast, and I don't know what the actual specs are, but it's fast enough. I don't have any issues streaming using Comcast. It's expensive because here there's no competition. Yeah, for tonight's stream you guys can't see it, but it's giving me an error. I mean, maybe I can show you. Give me a second here. Let me go through OBS if it doesn't crash. And I'll show you this real quick here. So if I do, you can see here where it says, okay, now it just switched. It went from poor now to excellent. But it was coming up error, poor, now says stream is healthy. Okay, alright. Well, yeah, it's still too, Ubuntu is still heavy Linux. Small EU country, 33 euros. Okay. 1 gig download, 500 meg upload. Well, that's okay. Yeah, Ben, if you can get, I mean, I would download 11. What's the version? 24H2? Yeah, look, I had it on this machine and it was fine. Lubuntu is definitely lighter. I have it on the other SSD on this machine. What I did with this, I disconnected the SATA cables off the CD drive and just hooked up the SSD to that. But yeah, Windows 11 should be fine. At least in my multiple tests on different machines. I even had it on the machine from 2011, and it worked. Not recommended when it's something that old. Yeah, the other machine I had originally had Windows 7, also from 2011. That one I just have Linux Mint on. With the original hard disk drive, that is perfectly acceptable. Imagine that.
Gioia della mia vita, senza te non sono io.
Yeah, if you have machines that are like 10 years old, you have to go with your Linux Mints, Ubuntu, MX Linux. You really can't go with Ubuntu, in my opinion, if you want a truly smooth, fast experience. I got it to work with some tweaks, but yeah, if you want smooth, fast on a 10-year-old machine, I would probably not go with Ubuntu. Your machine is from 2008? Really? Or that's just the model number? Interesting. Yeah, the Windows 11 download, I forget the size. It's a full download, install, updating on Windows 11, Ben, is going to take you at least a couple hours. It'll work, but it's a Linux install is going to be faster. That's all there is to it. Okay, so you have a 10-year-old machine in 2015. And which Linux do you have on it? Okay, so Ben, you have a 1 gigabyte NVMe. Yeah, I think I have the NVMe on my ThinkPad. I believe the NVMe's are faster than the SSDs. I still haven't heard any word yet if Ubuntu is going to release the immutable version of itself. That's the one I was looking forward to last year. Did not happen. Somewhat disappointing. I have not heard. So. You have a machine from 2007 also. Wow, well, that's cool. Yeah, I think one of my ThinkPads, I believe, is 08 or 09, the one that had Windows XP on it, I think. It still runs. With specific Linux, in this case MX Linux 32-bit. On that one, I don't have an SSD. I should probably put one in, if anything, to improve the battery life. The battery, even with the new battery on that ThinkPad, with the spinning disk hard disk drive, I can't even get an hour and a half, barely get an hour and a half out of it with the full charge. It's not very good. I think an SSD would improve the battery life on the ThinkPad. There is a version of MX Linux, I believe it's called Fluxbox. And I think you can run that with as little as a gig of RAM, I do believe. I think. If you're looking for speed. So you're running Lutris for the games? Okay. Okay, yeah, this is where the now the error message came up again for the YouTube Studio. This is where the Ubuntu struggles with this. Let me see if I can show you this. I'm sure you've seen this before, but if you look here, there you go. See, yeah, it's poor, but I'm not running a lot of graphics, but it should be okay for this. Yeah, I don't do really much of gaming anymore. Yeah, I still have an Xbox that still runs, but I haven't fired it up in so long. Okay, so the sound buffered a bit with the stream, but that was only now once. Okay, well that's not bad. Okay, like I said, Ubuntu struggles. Now, if I use the web-based application like StreamYard, that might be better with something heavy like Ubuntu versus OBS Studio, because it would use less system resources. So next time I'll try this in the StreamYard application to see if that makes any difference, but I have a feeling that it will. And I think I have this tweaked out as much as I can. I think with this Ubuntu, I think I can disable animations. It might help. But it's just the nature of the GNOME desktop, it's just heavier. The stream was totally fine except for that moment. Okay, alright. Thank you for telling me. That's fine with me. I'll stick around a little bit longer then. I think the fact that it says a lot to Linux that these machines that I have hooked up there to my 50-inch TV, I think it says a lot to these machines that are at least 10 years old. It says a lot to the power of Linux to keep these things running. Yeah, you're singing along, Mariana. Yeah, love song to a girl named Mariana. I don't know any Marianas. I know Marian, but no Marianas. La 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 la. It's all about the love, as my friend says in California. The love. Amen to that. The world could use more love. More Mio. C, love SCA. It's mare mi. It's ocean or sea, SCA in Italian. I believe it's mare, M-A-R-E. La 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 mio. I could change the word. Ubuntu, Ubuntu, my love. Maybe not. Yeah. Lovely sea, yes. Well, you should know you live close to the Adriatic, right? It is a lovely sea. So that part of the world really is gorgeous there in the summertime by the ocean there in Sicily. Yeah, it is absolutely stunning in the summer. Very good memories of Sicily. Steve Gunner is in the house. Hello there. He says, the world could use more arch, by the way. I don't think so. Good evening to you. How are you? Yes, the world could use more headaches, more aspirin, more Tylenol. Use arch. For the ones you don't love, give them arch. Ah, okay, so you're from Zagreb. You only hear about it, how expensive the Adriatic. Wait a minute, another arch user here? Hey, forget about it. Nah, it's cool. We're talking Ubuntu tonight. Who the heck invited Arch? What's going? The freaking Arch is taking over the neighborhood here. It's ridiculous already. I feel like I should be back in New York. Forget about it. Hey, if Arch works for you, go for it. I've tried arched bass in the past. I think I'll pass. If you really do not want to make a new friend, give them an Arch USB stick. I know Ben's makes 3. You maintain Arch bass size. Well, okay. Well, it's Arch bass. It isn't actually Arch, but Arch is what you installed on your laptop? Cool. Hey, if it works, it works. I'll stick with Ubuntu based or Debian. You know what it is for me, Steve, and Ben, everybody. It's my first date with Linux was with Ubuntu, and I just became comfortable with it. One of my friends says Ubuntu sounds like a power drink, like Monster drink or Red Bull. Yeah. I'll take a shot of Ubuntu. Yeah, make it 3 cans. I need the good heavy stuff. Yes. By the way, everyone's using Arch. Yes. Gee, it's my show and I feel like the oddball here. Yeah, it'd be funny if there was something called Ubuntu whiskey. Yeah. Yeah, give me a double shot of Ubuntu whiskey. Alright, so the stream is breaking now. Okay. I wonder if give me a second here. Alright, I disabled something in OBS Studio. See if this makes any difference. I'm not sure. Your first dive into Linux was Red Hat. Wow. Back in 04 and 05. Okay. if I use Arch, the stream would be fine. Well, Arch is definitely lighter, if I recall. I don't know if I could trust it, but Arch is definitely lighter. I think anything is lighter than Ubuntu, even Windows. But yeah, I cannot argue with that. Yes. Steve says you could trust it, just don't update before a stream. Well, duh. Why ain't that the truth? Really? Yeah, Arch is fine, but don't update it, it'll break. Oh, that's funny. I need to make a video of how you're surprised how good Arch is if you want to get some views. Nah, I think I'll pass. If I do this next one in Ubuntu, that's Ubuntu with an L, which I've done before, I think I'll be fine. It's just the heaviness of the GNOME desktop, so. At least it hasn't frozen on me. Hello, Cody. Steve says you trust the Arch more than your governor? Ah, my goodness. Oh, this is GNOME. Whatever the latest GNOME is in the latest Ubuntu. This is Ubuntu 24. I forget which version this is. This is GNOME 4, right? I think. Oh, Cody, you're installing OpenSUSE. Well, there's something we haven't talked about in a while. Let's see, do I have a joke? I went to see my doctor the other day for a prostate exam. He says I was in good shape. I must say I was deeply touched. Bada boom. I thought a net install is the fastest way. Oh, you mean to install Arch? Well, that I don't know. Yeah. I know with Debian, one of the options is to use the net install, and I believe that's fairly quick. I have tested LMDE in the past, Linux Mint Debian Edition. I thought it was okay. It's been a while, but I thought it was fine. Yeah, I can't really complain too much. Yeah, Cody, if you have a slow internet, well, yeah, everything's gonna run slow. It doesn't matter how many gigs you have. Slow is slow. Your internet isn't slow, but it decides to be slow tonight. Well, that's why you're running, but that's because you're running Arch. Bada boom, bum, bum, I'm telling you, it's Arch. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. You bought a smart smoke and carbon monoxide alarm. Jeez, is Arch that bad? Sorry, you guys started it. I'm gonna finish it. Oh, you're installing OpenSUSE. Yeah, I haven't messed with OpenSUSE long. Is that like a lighter Linux or not? I honestly don't remember. Or maybe I'm thinking of Fedora. Yeah, I think it's Fedora. Yeah, Steve says next week on Total OS, Carmine installs Arch and loves it next to his gallon of wine. Cody remembers the other joke. No, if I was installing Arch and using it, I'd have a fire extinguisher. Yeah. Yep. You remembered that joke from 8 years ago? You have good memory, Cody. Awesome. Yes, if you're running propane in the house, a monoxide alarm is a good investment. I would have to agree. With those, especially with propane heaters in the wintertime. Yeah, here in the States, portable propane heaters are very popular also. And best of all, they run on Arch. Yes. It probably wouldn't be to have one that's indoor safe in case the power goes out here. We have no furnace. It doesn't happen that often, but it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have one or two as an emergency heating system. So at least the pipes don't burst. Oh, your hand fell on the keyboard. See what happens when you use Arch? You start to lose the mobility in your hands. It's very bad. There's a Linux distro with the same initials as TOS. Really? Oh, Tuxedo OS. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Tuxedo OS TOS. I didn't know I could make a distro also. I should trademark that, right? Get a little commission. Yes, I do, Matt. I make the TOS laptops with the KDE based on Ubuntu. Yes, actually, yeah, they actually do make a few laptops. Actually, come to think, I think I looked at their website the other day. There's nothing there for me. I mean, if I'm going to spend $1,000, I'll get a Mac or a nice Chromebook. But yes, they do make a KDE distro version of the Tuxedo OS. All right. It is going close to 11:30 p.m. here where I live here in the States. So I think I may wrap this up here soon. Again, I transcode these live podcasts into shortened, edited versions with no ads, and I put it on the Total OS Today Patreon page. If you would like to support the channel that way, it's only $1 a month. I think it's something like that over there. You can listen to these shortened versions with no ads. Right. No, once I transcode these, there are no ads on the downloadable versions of these shows on the Patreon site. That is correct. There's no ads. I don't use Firefox that much because I found it to be slower in Linux. Yeah. Yep, it is definitely slower on older machines. I installed, what did I install to make it fast? I installed the Falcon web browser, Brave, even Chrome is faster. Well, I mean, if you have a i9 processor, anything's going to work on that. Yes, that is true. Yeah, Brave is good. On the Windows XP laptop with MX, I believe I installed Chromium, but I believe Falcon web browser is the lightest, if I recall correctly. I don't use Opera web browser anymore. Yeah. Another good one is Mulvad. That's very fast. I haven't used Vivaldi in a while. I'm trying to think. I'd have to look at it again, yeah. I pretty much stick with Brave, Chrome. I have Falcon here on Ubuntu, that's definitely lighter. And I have Mulvad, too. You don't know what the song is singing? Yeah, it's one of Dad's love songs. It is kind of catchy, isn't it? Yeah. It's about a girl named Mariana. A love song, yeah. You can sample all the songs on my dad's website on the Bandcamp page. So, no, it's not about the Marianas Trench. No, I don't think my dad even knows what that is. Anyway, it is a love song. Oh, you like it, Cody? Okay, cool. Well, next time when I call him tomorrow, we'll tell him he has another fan. I am not underestimating my dada. Definitely not. He has a talent I wish I had. You know, writing songs, and he has a gift. There's no question. Yes, you are correct. My dad is in the Godfather movies. He had connections, not anymore.
Listen. The birds are singing. The spring is finally here. My broken heart is crying. Where the roses catch my teardrops.
I love this song, Symphony of Love. It's so peaceful and loving and makes me feel warm and fuzzy all over. Yep. Well, on that note, my friends, since I'm feeling warm and fuzzy, I'm going to make myself warmer in bed. No, the horse's head will not be sleeping with me either, Cody. That's just in the movie. Powerful, isn't that a powerful scene after all these years? The horse's head in the bed. What a powerful scene in The Godfather. Classic. All right, good night, everyone. Great to have you here, as always. And I'll catch you sometime later on. And, yeah, have fun with your arch. Hopefully you won't be using too much aspirin. Arrivederci, my dear friends. Ciao.